really remember their names, remember their memories, and understand the true cost of war and the consequences of the decisions that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden made in the execution of that withdrawal.
Yeah, and it is very clear that the former president was invited in his personal capacity, as you said, by a family of one of the service members who was killed about 2 years ago during the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
It was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago to the day on August 26th.
Yes, 3 years ago.
That's CNN host and shameless political hack Dana Bash getting flustered after Tulsi Gabbard calmly deflected her attempts to push Democrat narratives about President Trump. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and I can't think of a better example of the effects of two competing ideologies than this interview between a nervous, sputtering Democrat shill and Tulsi Gabbard. Here's Gabbard setting the record straight and essentially doing Dana Bash's job for her.
And I think this goes to the heart of many of these different issues that we're seeing now that Kamala Harris is trying to hide from voters, is how she says her position is one thing, but her actions and her record show exactly the opposite. And you can point to that on issues related to the economy, issues related to freedom of speech. She says she stands for freedom of speech, and yet, as we've seen time and time again, her and Joe Biden have taken actions both directly and indirectly to censor free speech. Most recently, I can point to my own experience of this, of how the Harris-Biden administration have added me to a secret domestic terror watch list the very day after Kamala Harris was endorsed by Joe Biden, and I was on TV and warning the American people about what I saw as the dangers of a Kamala Harris presidency, taking action that was clearly political retaliation. They've done this to a lot of different people, which points to how dangerous it is to have people in power so willing to abuse that power to go after political opponents.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the secret terror watch list. We're definitely going to follow up on that, but I do want to move on.
You know, I absolutely love the effect Tulsi Gabbard has on this woman. She's essentially reduced her to a female version of George McFly by simply correcting her lies and highlighting the BS of her network. I mean, attacking Trump on the Arlington Cemetery thing was an odd choice for CNN, given that Harris and Biden didn't even show up, and a lot of the Gold Star family said that they were disgusted by the hollow message of support that Harris posted on social media.
They seem to have broken the rules and perhaps even federal law by putting out the campaign video. I want to ask you about...
I just like to say one last thing on this, because I think it's important, and I've seen a lot of the headlines and the stories and the concerns that people are raising about this, but to me, as a soldier and as someone who has been deployed to different war zones in the world, and I have friends who are buried there at Section 60, what is more outrageous to me is that there wasn't universal coverage of the momentous day of the 3rd anniversary of the loss of these 13 Gold Star families, and the outrage that they feel that their loved ones are not getting the kind of coverage and memory that their great sacrifice deserves. That is what everyone should be outraged about.
Well, yeah, we have covered the horrible events 3 years ago, and have done so several times. Over and over again. So I appreciate you also talking about their memories, because it is important.
You know, this is one of the biggest problems with pretend journalists like Dana Bash. Gabbard being placed on a TSA watch list isn't some crazy conspiratorial thing. It comes up if you search her on Google. I mean, for Pete's sake, there were articles written about it. Republicans were outraged. There were calls for investigations. Jim Jordan's even announced a probe looking into it. You know, it's really telling what these hacks choose to do their due diligence on. They don't mind spending days or weeks scouring the internet for controversial things like a joke J.D. Vance made 10 years ago, but for some reason can't be bothered to look up recent news about a guest, or whether someone's already responded to criticisms they're going to bring up during the interview like J.D. Vance did. Because at the end of the day, all establishment media wants to do is capture politically motivated gotcha moments for the Democrats. But let me know what you think. Are pretend journalists like Dana Bash genuinely unaware of these stories, or are they just conveniently ignoring them for their own benefit? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!